Hey everyone, welcome and welcome back. Uh, I am Dave Paris with Wall Sound Productions, and this again is Audio Waves, Rants, and Raves with Crazy Dave. I I don't know where everybody is seeing or hearing this from at this point. I still am kind of in the fledgling stages, I feel, on this. My wife just recently went through major surgery, but I'm still doing my best to try to get out here and do this 2 times a month at this point. And I have leads on getting this into a podcast. So you might be hearing Audio Waves, Rants and Raves will be back after these words from our sponsor kind of thing, if we drop it in commercials or not. I don't know. I mean, we're going to have to put it into the video and into the audio and such, but I haven't really done a whole lot to promote this at this point. I'm still kind of afraid of the haters and the trolls that are out there, which I know I shouldn't be, and people tell me I shouldn't be, and all that thing, because haters going to hate, and I'm just going to shake, 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 and all that. But it's unfortunate when when you believe in yourself and you want to help and you want to share and you want to connect with people and you have ideas, and people tell you you should totally be out there doing this, and then people just talk about how fat you are and how irrelevant you are. But like I say, maybe that's a topic for the future here that we deal with, or maybe I spend some time watching and listening to other people, which I try to do as well. But regardless, today's topic is how to make local industry contacts. Okay, and this was a suggestion that was from an younger up and coming friend of mine that I've loosely mentored over the years, and I've known him for quite a while and such, and so I'm not talking about I'm not talking about connecting with major label, major international players. I don't even know who that is anymore. I don't know if anybody does. I mean, nowadays it's all about TikTok and YouTube, right? Going viral with that. So I don't really know who gets you, when you're trying to connect to the big time people. I don't really know who that is, but I'm specifically talking about how to, how to reach out to your local movers and shakers, the people in your music or your artistic community specifically. I mean, because every every community has some sort of people and places that you likely want to be a part of, or there's a target audience or something that you want to be part of, whether it's clubs and venues or promoters, or whether it's bands or management bands or musicians or something like that. And I mean, starting out, it can be hard to connect with them, and so this just is kind of this is just kind of my opinion of how best to get these connections with these people. The one thing is you first off, you want to make sure that everything you do is top notch and professional. Okay, so your impromptu, silly, poor quality phone videos that you're putting out, keep those on your personal pages. Viewable to your friends and the people that care, the 2 or 3 people that actually think they're funny or good. This can't. I mean, that your personal spot can be a good testing ground for the content that you put on your band or your artist page. However, so you can kind of test your funny videos there and then see how well they play and get people's feedback and how well relevant you think that their feedback is. But your your band social media, that should be professional. It should be consistent. It should be clean. It should be focused, and it should be easily accessible. Okay. How should yours look? Well, copy the artists that are influencing you, or copy the artists in the industry that connect with the people that you want to work with, or copy the people that you want to work with. Do they have consistent color themes? Do they have consistent imagery, consistent artwork? I mean, you don't want to, like, when I say copy it, I don't mean like, use what they have or, change it a little bit or something like that. If their whole, if all of their all of their stuff is black and yellow, you don't want to be black and yellow. But it, do try to, basically what I'm talking about is, if they're using a certain feel, if they have a certain feel, you want to be kind of trying to, maybe that's a good place to start, to try to make yours, kind of just fall in line with what you're doing within the industry, or within, the people that you're liking, or that are influencing in you, and in the genre or the industry that you're looking at. Okay. The other thing is, realize that your music is not about you. All right. And this is kind of weird, but, what do you have to offer somebody else? I mean, I know that you're special and you're unique, just like everyone else is special and unique, and that you have a unique talent and a unique style, and you want to, you either want to spread your message of love and tolerance and hate, or love and tolerance and without the hate, or you want to spread your message of anger and hate, and I mean, just like everybody else. I mean, you've got some type of voice, but what is it that that you have to offer the people that you're connecting with? Is it do you bring a decent crowd? Do you have merchandise that is marketable and that sells well? Do you have a great stage show? Do you have the right type of engagement that, either on social media or live, or something like that, that these people you're trying to connect with, that they're going to actually want to be part of, that they can grow with as well. Is your band disposable? And this is something that I see so often, and I'm really tired of the new ego bands forming, talking about how they're bigger and better than they've ever been before, and they've finally got that lineup that that is really gonna be able to do something, and they go out and they try to make a stink, and they end up making a mediocre product with 10 or 15 songs of their own or something like that. And then they end up breaking up about a year later, and then one or two of the guys go off and form basically the same band, or the main songwriter takes the songs that he wrote in that band and brings it over to the next band, and does that, does his thing with that, and then it just kind of cycles over and over again. I mean, it reduces your credibility when your band is just one of these, what I call a disposable band, but the thing is, bands are a lot like romantic relationships. I mean, I've said that relationships, end for good reasons, but bands break up for stupid reasons. I mean, sometimes it's the same thing. People grow apart, or they lose interest, and they want to get out. But romantic relationships will break up because people are abusive, or they're insensitive, or they're unfaithful, or something like that. But bands usually break up just because of lack of communication and just stupid things. But they're a lot like romantic relationships, because you start off, you're hot and heavy, and you can't keep your hands off each other, and you think that you're going to be together forever, and you're just really excited that you've got this great band and these great people together, and it's going to be great forever. And then the band breaks up, and both parties, or everybody's to blame. It's the he said, she said in the band. And truth is you're probably all right. Everybody's probably right about why they broke up and why the other people are to blame, just like they're blaming you. And it's just because of all these kind of silly communication things. And so keep that in mind. The consistency. How are you presenting, and what is your track record? Because that affects your relevancy. Okay, what kind of commonality do you have with the contacts that you're trying to reach out to? Are you have something something in the community that connects you? Do you work with bands, or know bands that that they work with? Do you know other influencers, other people that they work with, that kind of ties you together with them? Where are you in your community? Do you have causes that you support, that nonprofits, or volunteering, or community things that you do that, would tie you together with them, or maybe that those nonprofits or whatever can get involved with them, or, just maybe anything that just kind of shows that you're out there making connections and doing things, that type of thing is important. I mean, I help book, acts for our free entertainment tent at our local, our county fair, and I'm involved with dog parks in the community, kind of thing. Stuff like that kind of gets you out to know people who know people, I guess. Do you go to the local jam sessions and connect with musicians, and you're getting exposure and trying to make friends in the industry that maybe they would know, or they could come and see you, or that you would see them at, or something like that? Are you sharing, helping, teaching, working in the area, for, like I say, for causes, or for music, or with other people, or anything that might connect you with? Yeah, are you volunteering for shows? I don't know. I mean, that's the type of thing. Those are the type of things that kind of get you known into these people, because you're trying to build a relationship. So like I say, it's just kind of important to be where they are, but not really in the way. I met Jack Rovner, years ago, and he came from Iowa, and went to University of Iowa, I guess, or whatever. And he ended up, he's been, he's managed like Bon Jovi and Kesha and Cedar, and a lot of these, a lot of these heavy hitters in the industry. And he said that, you kind of have to keep the rock star hours. And I'm not really the type, I'm not really good at that kind of thing. But he would show up for a performance at 9 o'clock at night at the club, some band performance or something like that, and stay there until 1 a.m., and then there'd be the after party, and everybody would, get in their vehicles and drive, 45 minutes away or whatever to somebody's house, doing what you do at 1:30 or 2 o'clock in the morning at somebody's house after a party. And he would connect with them, with people there, and kind of get his foot in the door, and they would say, yeah, come into my office tomorrow afternoon at 3 o'clock or something like that, and we'll talk, and make an appointment with my secretary who's in the hot tub over there with Bon Jovi or something like that. And so you just kind of want to be where they are, but understand that their events is not always the best time to connect with them. They're going to be busy, they're going to be focused, they've got an agenda. You might be able to find them there. You might be able to introduce yourself. You might be able to ask if you can meet up later. They're going to probably be pretty cordial. Yeah, I'm sure I will. I would like to, I'd like to meet up with you sometime. Don't give them a lot of stuff. In the olden days, we used to carry around our press kits and had our photos and our bio and, press clippings and a CD, or a cassette or a vinyl album, or that was kind of what you did up until the invention of the internets or whatever. And you don't want to be giving them a lot of merchandise and things that they're going to have to carry around. But I like my guitar picks. I will give out guitar picks, because a guitar pick, you can slip it into, you can give it to somebody and it gets in their pocket, and then hopefully they find it before they wash their jeans or whatever. And then a lot of times it survives washings. I can testify to that. But you give it to a drummer or whatever, and they're like, well, I'm a drummer. What do I care about having a guitar pick? Why do I need that? Well, because they pull this out of their pocket later, and they're like, now why do I have a guitar pick? Oh yeah, DaveParis.com. Oh yeah, WallowSoundProductions.com. I remember talking to that guy. I mean, the good old fashioned business cards are still, still good. I mean, you can't always get people to put your number in their phone right away, or connect to your whatever social media you're using. So have something like this, to just kind of give out real quick somewhere, and I mean, it still has to look good. If you're printing them at home or whatever, just make sure that it still looks something of quality. These colors don't run. The home-based ones, this will survive a washing. My business cards will survive a washing. So that's kind of the thing you want to be looking at. Just something quick to give them if you're going to be running into them. That's, you have about the 2-minute elevator pitch. So hopefully you can look up what an elevator pitch is, because maybe that's another topic. I don't know. The other thing is you want to make sure you know something public about them. I mean, something public about them that connects you to them, the things that you care about that they care about. Did they recently get a new puppy, or did they recently lose their cat that they had for a long time, and and they talk about that on their in their social media. Those are the things you want to ask them about. You got a dog? Hey, I got a dog. Did they recently get new equipment, or did they relocate, or did they go on a trip? You say, hey, I saw you were taking a trip to Vegas. I've been there a couple of times. What did you do when you were there? Did you have a good time? Whatever you can do that shows that you're sincere in their life, and not a creep. I mean, you don't want to be saying, hey, I saw the other day that you were throwing out a bunch of stuff from your house. When no, you don't want to be doing that. Don't be going through. Do people still go through garbage? I mean, it's all about cyber attacks now. But regardless, there's usually some public things. Maybe it's just the bands that they're working with or something. Hey, I used to know this guy, or I was at this show and I really enjoyed working with them. Or how did it go when you worked with this band that just broke up 2 months later or something like that. But if you feel you got to the point where you've got all this stuff going on, and you feel like everything is in order, and that you do have something viable and relevant, then ask them. Because I heard it said that unless you ask, the answer is always going to be no. If you're still looking for their connections and their mentorship or advice, or you want to work with them, ask for their time. Try to fit into their schedule. If you're, as best you can. I mean, like I say, try to fit into their schedule. If they say, yeah, I'll come in at 3:00 on, a Tuesday afternoon to my office or something like that, make it happen. That's the time to be bringing them gifts and promotional stuff, and buying them lunch or buying them coffee or whatever it takes. But that's the time to really have your stuff ready. Okay. But understand you might not get their time, at least not yet. They might still be way too busy. They might not yet be interested in your product, in your band, your music, your art, whatever it is. Don't be discouraged or angry. And I kind of have a problem like that. It's like, okay, fine. If you don't want to work with me, then fine. And I went through a lot of years, about that, but move on, and keep doing what you do. Polish up your stuff, polish up your approach, try to make other contacts, try again later. You might get that. The other thing is don't discount the people that are around you or under you. I hear this a lot in the industry. You want to be trying to be pulling up other people, doing everything you can to edify those around you and build them up and try to build success. Because we're all going to have our own different portion of success, our own different piece of success or definition of success or whatever it is. We're all going to be having that. But if everyone's just starting out, and everyone starts to start out, and everyone's trying to be successful. And, if you get some success or you get some progress, try to help those around you. Try to spend time to build up those other, because you don't know, a rival musician, a rival band or whatever, they could be people that you're going to want to work with eventually, for whatever reason. I mean, I've seen this a million times. The guys that were my competitors, that I thought were my competitors, I end up, building relationships with them, becoming really good friends and working with them. I mean, especially in these days of multi-band projects and quote unquote disposable bands. So you never know. You may need some of these people, and like I say, this quote unquote kid. I mean, I met him when he was like a teenager or something like that. He was a little bit younger than me, and he's like, "Hey, I don't know, I found your CD at a discount discount bin or something like that." And excuse me. And I really would like to meet you. I'd really like to get to know you or something like that. And I met him for coffee, and he was quirky, nervous guy. Just in the early days, he drove me crazy. And I got to know him. I learned from him. I seen how talented he was. And now I consider him a friend, and I can sit and I can talk with him about successes that he's had. And like I say, I learned from him on things. And a similar story with with a guitar student of mine that early on just drove me crazy. But I started, as I started teaching him, I started realizing that I really had a lot of things in common with him, that, a lot of perspectives that I saw in him as well. And, we connected. Eventually, he went on and he, toured all over the place, and, kind of put together a pretty good band. And I mean, he ended up, killing himself later on. And I wish I would have been able to reconnect with him. But he, like I say, he pulled it off. He did it, and if I would have just discounted him back then, I wouldn't have had that relationship and that friendship with him, and got to kind of in a way be a part of, a loose way, maybe being a part of the success he's had. But in summary, try to be sincere when you're making contacts, and if you're not sincere, then learn how to be sincere. Do some of these other community things or something like that to be sincere. Learn from those that are around you, learn from their successes, learn from their mistakes, connect and help those that are around you. Remember that your music career is a business, and you have to think about it as a business if you want to succeed. And business is really about having a viable product and building connections. Okay, now here at Wall of Sound we offer artist consultations, and we help write bios and develop business plans and all these things. And we can help with making photos and videos and working on the business aspect. So give us a call. Reach out here at to wallofsoundproductions.com, and we can I can have my people contact your people or whatever. But that's what I got. I appreciate the time. I'm looking forward to the next thing that I talk about. I've got a couple of different things, so we'll see where we go. But always looking for that positive internet feedback as well. But God bless you, everyone, and I hope to be back out here. Like I say, another 2 times a month. So that's what I've got. Thanks for your time.